Student, today I am taking class 8 social science. Now we are going to be revise the chapters from the civics chapter 4 understanding law. Now see the first question. State one reason why you think the Sedition Act of 1870 was arbitrary. In what way does the Sedition Act of 1870 contradict the rules of law? So you see, what is this? When it was released, the Sedition Act of 1870, it was an arbitrary. Why? Because the definition of sedition was very broad. What is written? According to it, the British could arrest and detain any person they wanted. So this Sedition Act of 1870 contradict the rules of law because there was no scope for holding a proper trial of a judge whether the person was indeed guilty of the offense and he had been convicted for not. So the act permitted arresting any Indians without due trial if they criticized the British government. So can this act is right? No. Next. See the next one question. What do you understand by domestic violence? List the two rights that what type of new law helped achieve for women who are survivors of violence. You see, domestic violence, घरेलू हिंसा, हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं इसे? घरेलू हिंसा. It refers to the injury, any type of harm or threat of injury or the harm caused by an adult male, usually the husband against his wife. So injury may be caused by some physically beating up the women or even by emotionally abusing her. So abusing of the women include some verbal, sexual and economic abuse. So the two rights that to save this, the new law of protection of women from Domestic Violence Act 2005 helped to achieve for the women survivor of violence. So what are these two acts? Number one, right of women to live in shared households with protection against violence, and second one, the right of women who have survived the domestic violence to receive monetary relief in order to meet with their expenses including medical cost. Now see the question number 3. Can you list one process that was used to make more people aware the need of this law? Because still now in our country, so many poor people don't know what type of laws are available. Even women's, they don't know. So you see, more people were made aware of need of the law through the process of public discussion. Next, write in your own words what do you understand by the term rule of law, or in your response include a friction or a real examples of violation of the rule of law. So what is written here? See, rule of means that every citizen of the land shall be governed by the same set of laws. There will be no description, and there shall not be any discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, class or gender. All the peoples are equal. Now, any person violating the law of the land shall be dealt with according to some process which is made laid out by the law. Some examples you can see. An example of violation of the rule of law. A rich person bribing officials to escape punishment for his crime. This is not, it is wrong. Next. State two reasons why historians refute the claims that British introduced the rule of law in India. So you see, the two reasons we can see why the historians refute the claim that the British introduced the rule of law in India. First one, the law which was under the British rule were arbitrary. Means the rulers could use those laws anyway they wanted to arrest Indians without any trial. Second one, do you know the Indian nationalists played an important role in the development of the rule of law as they protested against these injustices. Rowlatt Act is also like that. Now some extra questions. Which body makes law for India? That is Parliament. It makes law for India. What can law not to do? A law cannot discriminate against any citizen on the basis of caste, class, gender, religion, etc. Next, who introduced this rule of law in India? The Indian nationalists, they introduced this rule law of India. Now the next, is the protection of women from domestic violence act a civil law or criminal law? The protection of these women for domestic violence act 2005, it is a civil law. Now you next see the chapter 5, judiciary. Some question and answer. Now list 2 reasons why you believe an independent judiciary is essential to democracy. It is must because the 2 main reasons are, first, it provides impartial judgment which is integral to democracy. Now next, it protects all the fundamental rights of citizens of India. Now, you read that one of the main functions of the judiciary is upholding the law and enforcing some fundamental rights. So why do you think an independent judiciary is necessary to carry out these important functions? Why? See, an independent judiciary, it is essential to carry out these functions of upholding the law and enforcing some fundamental rights so that it can be free of interference and all the peoples enjoy these rights. Next, so only a judicially independent outside interference can be give a trial to a citizen irrespective of caste, class, religion and other problems. Now you see, reread the list of fundamental rights provided in the chapter. So how would you think the right of constitutional remedies, it connects to this idea of judicial review? When we see this now, the right of constitutional remedies guarantees the citizens the right to approach the court directly if they believe that any of their fundamental rights have been violated by the state. The judiciary has the power to remove any law passed by the parliament which according to it violates the basic structure of the constitution. So the fundamental rights, this is how the 2 ideas of right to constitutional remedies and judicial reviews are connected each other. Now the next question is C. In the following illustration, fill in each star with the judgment given by various courts on the Sudha Goyal case. This is the lower court, this one high court and top one is the Supreme Court. As lower court convicted Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra and sentenced all 3 of them to death. So where they appeal? They appeal on the high court. Now acquitted Lakshman, Shakuntala and Subhash Chandra. Again the case on the Supreme Court. What happened there? The sentence Lakshman and Shakuntala were life, acquitted and Subhash due to lack of evidence, he become free. So you have seen how these judgments will be done by the courts. Keeping the Sudha Goyal case in mind, take the sentence that are true and correct, that one is the false. Now you see here, now. The accused took the case to the high court because they were unhappy with the decision of the trial court. Yes, it is true. If the person is not satisfied with the local courts, where they can appeal? High court. If they are not satisfied, so where they can appeal? In the last, they will reach to Supreme Court. Now, they went to the high court after the Supreme Court had given the decision. Now, false. Why? Because they cannot go to after the Supreme Court. Can the person already reach to the Supreme Court and it has given decision? So can they go again back to the High Court? No. Supreme Court decision is the only final decision. Next, if they do not like the Supreme Court verdict, so the accused can go back again to the trial court? No, it is false. Next, why do you think the introduction of public interest litigation PIL in the 1980s is a significant step in ensuring access to justice for all? Because before the 1980, do you know, the litigation in courts was costly and it is time consuming affair. As a result, those who are the poor, they cannot afford going to court and get justice. No. So nowadays the introduction of mechanism that is called PIL, public interest litigation by the Supreme Court in early 1980s. So, it gave increased access to justice. How? It allowed any individual or the organization to file a PIL in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those rights had been violated. Now even person can write a letter or a telegram or address to the Supreme Court or the High Court could be treated as PIL. So in this way, whatever the dispute will be solved easily within a time. Next, reread excerpts from the judgment of the Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation case. Now write in your own words what the judges mean when they said that the right to livelihood was a part of right to life. You see, what is written to right to life? Conferred by the Article 21 has far-reaching implication. It means more than just animals existing. There is only one aspect of right of life. Means an equally important aspect of right to life is the right to livelihood, because no person can live without the means of living, which also means livelihood. This is what the judges mean, that they said that right to livelihood is a part of right to life. Nobody can stop anyone or interfere on their affairs. Next, write a story around the theme justice delayed, justice denied. As you seen in Sunil, who and for his family was killed in an accident. He left behind his wife and 3 daughters. His wife filed a case seeking compensation and a job to meet the family expenses, since the car that hit Sunil belonged to the son of local MLA. So there was a political interference in the case of proceeding. So now the case was transferred from one court to another, and the case lingered for more than 20 years. See, so Sunil's wife and daughters, they started working as a casual laborers to run the households. The wife borrowed money from the landlord to marry her daughter. Finally, 24 years later, the court was awarded Sunil's wife a compensation of rupees 1 lakh. Justice delayed, the justice denied. So did you understand? We are having the courts which can give real judgment. Now, thank you. Now next time I'll take the revision of history. It is finished.